All right, folks. All right. That is a good movie, David. You guys are all in your TV watching business. Man, I cut cable like 5 years ago. I haven't had cable forever. All I have is the internet. But I'm glad you're tuned in, Heath. Scott Bozone. Sure. Grow a beard. It'll make you faster. I don't know if it'll make you faster, but, you know, hey, people will talk about it, so it's kind of cool. Darren Moore, you're acknowledged. You're here. You're always here. Brandon Reed, I've already done that, brother. Trainering, we've all, yeah, it's part of the gig. I had to do it early. I actually just flossed because I'm like, I was cutting it close today. That's why I moved it back to 8:30 because I didn't get off my trainer and I barely had time to get dinner made. So, Hack Spice, how are you doing, buddy? We did finally get you hooked up on our Facebook group, so glad we got that taken care of. Mike Pickle, doing 200 watts while watching this video. Well, all right. I don't know what zone that is for you, but 200 watts is okay. Trainer in the dark. Jennifer Garland, you still have no power, huh? That is awesome. No power, it doesn't matter. She still gets on the trainer and does it. That's dedication. Tom, I'll explain in a minute. It's just something I do. Except only I'm kind of arranged wrong. It's like my head's blocking it, so I got to move around there. Alex Canada, what's up? Now you can't be that tired. Come on. I did the same workout you did. It's pretty good. I feel fine. And I saw Kai for like 2 seconds, and then he blew by me. Hey, Kai. We were all doing Zwift, and so I'm talking to Kai and Alex for you guys that aren't getting what I'm talking about here. Jennifer Garland, too many smells. Let's see. Brandon. Miles Juno. I know. Miles Juno, I know it's a problem that I have. I need to get Melissa Nicely and Russ Nicely do t-shirts, and they said if I send them the designs, that they'll move the logo like down here on my belly so that my beard doesn't block it all. This is actually a little V-Dubs in the Park. It's a little Medicine Park thing for all the VWs. They have a big show up there every year. So I'm glad you're tuning in from Baton Rouge, Miles. Roy Peterson checked in. We'll talk to Roy. We'll talk about Roy here in just a bit about Claremore. So. Melissa, I know I've just been too busy, Melissa. I just haven't got those logos to you, but definitely need to do that. Get the beard version of all the regular shirts that we have with the logo like down here. Come on, Crampy. Be nice. You're probably adulting again, aren't you? Isn't that right? You're only allowed to, like, drink at races, so you're not racing, so like you're supposed to be adulting right now. There you go. Steve Cordes just chimed in with the specific date. V-Dubs in the park. That's what this is all about. VW is all kinds of cool stuff, bands, all kinds of crazy stuff going on in Medicine Park. And this year it is March 24th through 25th. Brent Wyrick, no, I do not ever braid it or do anything because I don't have any daughters and all my boys are older and they don't care. And I'm not that talented. So, no one, I know adulting's totally overrated. I agree. Elizabeth also says that I need to do some beads, so I'm gonna have to like hook up with somebody that has a daughter that knows how to like do that kind of stuff, because I don't know. I grew up with all boys, so I don't have that skill or know anybody that has that skill. All righty, we're 8:37. Quite a few people checked in. I don't think anybody's had anything other than just a little chat. So I've got my little glass for my oldest. This is when your oldest goes to California and comes back, you get a shot glass with sunglasses. No Jaeger tonight. I got a little blueberry vodka. It's quite tasty. Totally, Melissa. I know you and Russ need to go like on a date night sometime when I have an off weekend, and I'll come babysit, and the girls can totally braid my beard while I babysit. That would be perfect. So there's some Medicine Park talk going on in the comments, and yeah, there's some plans coming up for Medicine Park, and we'll get more into all that later. That's really probably not time for this, but all right, let's jump into the schedule. I've just been kind of talking and doing my usual while everybody kind of checks in and gets dialed in. So I'm kind of new to this whole video thing, so obviously I think most of you know me, or you wouldn't be checking in, but I guess I do post this on YouTube, so I probably need to actually identify myself. I am Corey White. They call me the Wizard. This is the weekly Wizard update. I just made that up. We'll see how that kind of rolls. It seems to be drawing some attention, and it's good for Tour de Dirt, and it's good for my mountain bike racing, and it's good for getting people involved. And I'm totally down with that, to getting people involved. That's my whole goal, and that's been, you know, I started out as a racer and a rider, and over the last 5 years I still do that, but I've turned into more of a I guess I've had a personal need to share it. I want to share it with everybody. I want to share it with anybody that's interested. I want to share it with people that want to do it at any levels, and this is just a mechanism for me to do that. So welcome to the Wizard Weekly Update. There is a link at the very top that I posted when I first started this. So I'm going to have to cancel that. That would be Desiree calling. So Des, sorry, I'm live. I can't talk to you right now. We'll chat in a minute. I lost my train of thought with that. Oh, YouTube, my YouTube channel. I post all these up to YouTube afterwards, so that you can have access to them later on, and also people can have access to them, and then we can post them later. Some of these I do as questions or things that are common topics, and people can post. We can post those videos up to Facebook whenever people ask these questions. So I want to archive all these in my YouTube channel. YouTube channel's posted in the very first post. Go out, subscribe. Anytime there's a new update, you missed the live version, you can get it on YouTube. It's all the same thing. So all good. So we've been adding, I don't know if it's related. It's hard to tell because I started these videos a little bit before, at about the time we started doing racing. And so it's hard to tell if it's the races, attention, or this video. Regardless, we have added 50 to 60 people to the Tour de Dirt Facebook page. And we've done that just in the last 3 weeks. I added like 6 today. So I don't know. I mean, these are people that I don't know. Most of these people, I don't recognize these names, but we're adding them. They're wanting in. They're wanting to be part of the Tour de Dirt, racing, riding, mountain bikes, and all that good stuff. And the more the better. So keep them coming. I do want to make one note for those of you that are talking to your friends, or if you add friends. So like today, we had several that were added by Roy Pemberton, and they were all part of his crew at Ponca. I went ahead and added them. However, keep in mind, if you're going to add people, or you're going to ask, or if you request an ad, there's 2 simple questions. What's my favorite trail and why? I don't do this for a reason. I don't really, it's interesting, I guess, but the main reason is because we get requests all the time on our Tour de Dirt Facebook page, as does anybody that's an administrator to a page. And a crap ton of these are all these stupid bots that are just out there on the internet that are just bombing requests, and they're not legitimate requests. By asking 2 simple questions that anybody can answer, regardless of what your answer is, if you answer them, then that tells me that you're a real person, if they make any sense whatsoever. And so then you immediately get added, so you're all good. And that's the reason for it. That's the reason for the questions. People feel kind of weird about that, but it's just because there's so many electronic bots out there that are just bombing us with stupid requests of, people that don't exist. So let's see, a few questions or a few comments. So Darren Moore, you just did that to bug me, didn't you? When are the results going to be posted? So Des is finishing up the results tonight. So Sooner Stampede should be, if they're not done tonight, they will very likely be done tomorrow. She made a pretty good quip online just a few minutes ago. Someone asked when the results were going to be posted, and she said whenever all those DNFs finally check in. I'll get to that here in just a minute. Sorry, Tom, no intermission, just me yakking for, I don't know, however long I yak. David Taylor, no, I got it covered. I can hold my beer, so. Pickle, I don't know what Bacon needs to do. David said you need someone to hold your notes further away. Okay. Thanks, David. You're just going to bring this up, and hey, I'm just going to admit to it on Facebook Live in front of everybody. I'm colorblind. I've had 20/20 forever. I figured it's only fair that I don't have to have glasses. Guess what? I ordered some. They'll be here Thursday. So the no more having to do the telescoping thing. I'll be able to read it right here. So since David Taylor called me out, I figure I just admit that on Facebook. Don Lasol, welcome from Austin. We'll hope to see you this weekend. Don is our one of our regional representatives for USA Cycling, and he's not just an administrator. I've talked to him a few times. This guy races his bike. He's going to race this weekend, so stoked to have him come down and come check out. I mean, a brand new venue, a venue that has never been in Tour de Dirt, so it's awesome. Kelly Moyer, love seeing women riders. We've got 2 groups that are blowing up right now, and it's awesome. Some of our women groups are just. I was sitting there talking to the ladies in the Cat 3 start, and I mean, there was 2 or 3 rows of them. It's great. It's awesome. And our juniors are the other group. It's just unbelievable how many juniors that we have racing. You know, used to we were lucky to have like 3. And now it's like we have a whole crew. And it's not even a full crew because some of those juniors don't actually race juniors. They race up into the adult categories. And we still have a huge junior group. So it's awesome. Brent Wyerth, when did Oklahoma mountain bike racing start calling the series Tour de Dirt? I'm really not sure. I think it started back in like maybe 97, but it was or 97, 80. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. 96, 97, probably about 98, 99, maybe is when it started calling it Tour de Dirt. I really don't know. I'm not sure, but I think that's about the approximate time limit. I know there's some people out there that were involved back then that could probably give you the details. I was a newbie back in 99, so I really didn't have a clue what was going on. I was just trying to figure out what to do. So Darren, you're all cool, Darren. All right, next topic. Let's keep rolling. All right, so I had a few questions about the shirt up above me, and God damn it, I can't figure out this whole left and right business with the camera because the camera I'm backwards and I move one way. So, hey, this is my burn camp. You can't really see it, and it's my fault. I just don't have a camera to zoom in and all that. This goes back to our turkey race. This is burn camp, and I just thought I'd toss it up there. It's a event. 2 races ago, we had our race this weekend at Center Stampede, which we'll talk about in a bit, and we've got an upcoming race. But I just I don't know. I just wanted to say a little something about Turkey Mountain. I didn't really want to talk about Turkey Mountain. I want to talk about Ray Hall. So Ray's had first of all, he promoted Turkey, attempted a race, and he did a damn good job racing. Didn't get the result he wanted. I think Chris pretty much got him. But Ray ran around 24/7. I'm not sure he slept. I'm not sure he ate. I'm not sure he rested. I'm not sure he warmed up. He ran around the whole time taking care of business. That's what promoters do. It sucks. It's hard work, but it's part of the gig. And he still raced and competed, did well, and comes this week, you think, oh, all right, he's just got to come race a race. He doesn't have to promote. He can rest. He can prepare. He can be ready. Well, this guy goes Saturday after pre-ride, apparently, if the timeline's right. I saw him out there pre-riding with his son, Jackson. And then I read a post that afternoon he's doing his annual stair climb that he does for the firefighters. The firefighters have a stair climb that they always do. I don't know the specifics of it, but it's like crazy. It's like a 10-minute stair climb and like 100 some odd stairs. It's just ridiculous. And as usual, I think he won. Let's see, what did he do? I've got it over here. So, toughest 10-minute race in his life. He got the fastest firefighter and placed second in his age group, but the age group was against non-firefighters as well as firefighters, and I believe that means that they were basically geared for running with running shoes and running gear, and he was fully geared with firefighting gear and weighted down. So, and then he attempts to race on Sunday and had a tough day, still did well, but it was a crazy stacked field. More importantly, I got my shoes back and my socks back that I left at Turkey Mountain. Jackson brings them up to me, which is Ray's son. Not only do I get my shoes back and get them hand delivered, these things are clean. They're cleaner than they've ever been. I can't say enough about this guy and his family. So, I mean, hey, and my socks were clean, but I don't have them here. They're in my bag somewhere. So, Ray, I love you, man. And we go back for many years, and just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I love it. I love seeing guys that are our age that are just smoking it and showing these young guys how to do it and do it right and do it well. All right, that's all of that. Some Tour de Dirt notes. So I alluded to this earlier, and we need to take care of some business as racers. I've mentioned this in some of my previous live casts, but I want to emphasize this again, and I'm probably going to make a few just regular posts on the Tour de Dirt page just to assure that this happens. So number one, if you are in a race in our Tour de Dare racing and you do not finish your race for whatever reason, you have a flat, you have a mechanical, you break your bike, you physically can't finish it because you've bonked, whatever the reason is that you do not finish your race, you must check in with our officials. If you do not, it causes a whole stair step of issues. So we had a lot of delayed results this weekend. Many of those were because we were waiting. And I say we, I was not. We, Tour de Dare, our officials were waiting on DNF riders to check in. We did not at that time know that they were DNF. They had not checked in. We were waiting for them to finish, only to come to find out after time period gets a little bit long, we start asking questions and we start throwing out some feelers, and we find out, oh no, they DNF'd. They went to the car and they haven't checked in and told us that they DNF'd. We did have a couple that, you know, sent someone. I believe Tayton Parker didn't finish and he didn't check in. However, Tayton and Jess took care of that. They sent someone up to the officials and said, hey, he didn't finish and he DNF'd, and that was taken care of. That's cool too. I mean, that's all right. But there were still a few that DNF'd that we didn't know about until we started asking. So that delays not only race day, that delays when our officials can actually stop the, you know, say, hey, we're done with this race. We need to calculate results, get them posted, get awards going. Delays everything, and then it delays the next step, which is they're still catching racers coming from other categories. They still have to calculate results from other races that are coming down the road. So it delays everything. It's just a stair step of issues. In addition, what happens if we get to the end of the day and we don't have racers in? We don't know where those racers are at. We have to consider, you know, first of all, we have to ask around and find out if they have come in. If we don't know, if nobody knows, or if they're gone, then we have to find them. We have to account for them one way or the other. You know, worst case scenario, we have to pull their registration sheet. We have to call their emergency contact that they listed. That has to be done. I've actually had that done to me at a race. I was at a road race one time and they messed up my number. So it was actually not my fault. I did finish the race, but they messed my number up in registration. So they didn't have my name finishing. About an hour after the race, I mean, I'm chilling out, drinking a beer, and I get a phone call from my dad, who was my emergency contact, and saying, hey, I just got a call from a race, wondering where you're at. So doesn't seem like a big deal. As you can see, it's a big deal. Check in, be accounted for. I'm going to post this on our page as well as this live version, because not everybody may be watching this. It's very important. While we're talking about officials, as they are working actively in a race, they're doing a lot of things. They're catching people as they come in. They're probably tallying events at the same time that have already completed, and they're preparing to post results. Don't come bugging them with little issues like, hey, when are things going to be posted? When are things going to be done? When are results going to be there? I've got to go home. Okay, not acceptable. If you've got to go, go. If you can't wait, wait. You know, hey, we've all been doing this for a long time. I live probably as far away as anybody. I live in southwest Oklahoma. I live 2 hours from Oklahoma City. So anything else further that way, you can figure out the time. I'm the last one to leave the venue. So if you've got stuff that's that crunching, that important, just go do it. Don't bug the officials. Stage properly. I've talked about this in a previous video about staging. We've had a couple of incidents over the last two races, and just a little bit of confusion. And I've seen our officials having to constantly tell people to not start here, scoot back, Don't start with this group. You're not in this group. Okay, I'm going to explain how this works and try to emphasize that. It is absolutely critical that you start with the correct group. When we stage a group, we stage them all by classes. We will stage them first by category, category 1, 2, or 3. Our 3s typically go first, and our 3s will be staged all at the start line at the same time, 15 minutes before, maybe 20 minutes before the actual start time, because you have to do roll call. Within each of those categories, you will be staged based on your class. Most of the time, the classes are age groups, 19 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 plus, 40 to 49, depends on if you're women, male, female, depends on if you're junior. There are different categories. I'm not going to go over all those categories. Those categories are listed on almost every flyer. They're also listed in our True to Dirt rules. Go out, look at those. It's up to you to know that. You need to know what group you're in. You need to start with that group. Okay, so if you're not sure, you're kind of, you're new, look around, talk to the people. Hey, I'm in the 30 to 39 age group. Who are you? What group are you in? Do I need to be here? And then if you're not sure, look at the leg markings. Both of our venues have done leg markings. I have a leg marking sheet. The leg markings list exactly what category you're in. You should have a marking, and if your marking doesn't match the group that you're lining up with, then you're not in the right group. If you're not sure about those leg markings, then ask. Okay, but it's imperative that you follow the proper procedure. We stage each of these groups and each of these classes within each of these categories. Each age group, and then we have a couple of open classes, they will start on their own. So if you're a 19 to 29 Cat 3 male, you will start on your own in a group. If you are a 30 to 39 male Cat 3, you will start in a group by yourself. Okay, and so forth and so on. The Cat 1s are a little bit different. We start the Cat 1, 19 to 39 together, and then we start the men 40 to 49 together, and then we do the 50 plus. And that's all. We have our women now have moved to the Cat 2 start time because we're doing a unified start with all the Cat 1 and Cat 2 women. They will be at the Cat 2 start time. So there's a lot more to that, but the whole key is you need to know what group you're in. You need to know what age group you're in. I mean, you should know. If you don't know, you need to get on our website, oktdd.org, and you need to look at the rules. You need to look at that. You need to figure it out. And then you need to know where you should be. Okay? And if you're not sure, ask. You can ask people standing beside you at the start line. I mean, that's last resort, but that's better than just guessing and guessing wrong. Okay. Let's see. I got a few questions here that I missed. Didn't miss. So I want to take a peek over here. Mike Pickle's still on his trainer. David Nelton, has Ray Hall rested yet? I don't think so. And Heath Arning, very true. I saw a picture. So not only after this weekend at Sooner Stampede, but Ray was back at Turkey repairing trail again. So unbelievable. Pre-registration, Rory Peterson. Yes, we'll hit that topic again when we talk about you guys' race coming up. Glenn Scott, that is a Fat Tire hat. I'll talk about why in just a jiffy. I typically have my my OKC Bike Lab hat on, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Zachary Hood, hit me up, dude. I can give you some hints. He's talking about needs some endurance training. He said he got passed by a bunch of guys he shouldn't have. So Zach's one of our Medicine Park boys. Hit us up. We can hook you up. And Julie, or your marker is Julie. Yep. Darren Moore, flyers are pretty clear on starting groups, plus it is set in registration. Darren's right. I mean, it's very clear. It's just, I think people get up to the line, it's like they're all Jones, they're all jacked up, and they're ready to go, and it's like the brains just turn off and they quit thinking. So you just got to pay attention, be aware of your surroundings. And another thing is be early. Be early, be there on time. We had so many people that were late. We had so many people that were, we had a few people that even didn't even get to race because they missed. They didn't get there in time to get registered. And we had so many people that got there late or rushing to the start line. If you're in a rush, you're in a hurry, your brain's not working. Not only are you probably not going to have a good race, but you're going to make errors like this, you know. So give yourself plenty of time. You know, that few extra hours, 30 minutes of sleep or 45 minutes of sleep, it's not going to help when you're rushing around like crazy trying to get things figured out. So, all right, I think I've covered everything that's been commented on over there. Let's see. Another thing, actually Darren and I talked about this earlier, but I'd already planned on talking about it. I'll post about it on Turd to Dirt later. Sorry about that. Team Wine Box. Here's Julie Denton and girls. USAC licenses. We have started this push about mid-season last year. We're still pushing it, and we're going to get it dialed in, and we're going to get everybody used to it. It just takes a while to get everybody used to it. And you must show your USA Cycling license at the race. Okay? You must. It's going to be a requirement. I'm asking offline on my promoters group with my promoters, I'm telling them right now that in order to allow you as a racer to complete your registration and get your name on the start sheet, you need to show your USA Cycling license, even if you registered online. This is something that's done across the board in other states, national events, everywhere. Yes, granted, if you registered online, you have a license one way or the other, whether you paid for a one day or whether you paid, or whether you just registered under a current license. However, we don't know that. We don't know whether that. In fact, we have a lot of people that have a license. It's expired because they don't race that much, but yet they bought a one day just to do one race. Again, that's confusing. That can be resolved by showing, one, that you registered online as a one day, or filling out a one day form, or showing your USA Cycling license at registration. So you're going to be asked for that at registration at upcoming races. That's just the way it is. I've said this several times. The best way to do this, get your app. Yes, I realize from what I hear that if you have an iPhone and you update and you get the USA Cycling app, it doesn't work very well. I don't know. I'm Android. I don't know. Figure it out. Log in just through your browser if you have to. All you have to do is do it one time. Get that screen up that shows your license, shows the expiration date, shows that it's current, shows your license. One screen that does that. Screenshot that and save that. Then all you have to do is show that. You don't have to look it up again. You can just show that picture because that picture is good enough. Everybody's going to have to do that. Honking people outside. Yay. But it's important. It's important for a variety of reasons that is more than just you guys having a current license. It's about insurance. It's about validity. It's about proper series championships. There's just a lot involved. You need to have a valid license. You need to show that. You need to prove that. Be prepared to do that. Okay? If you show up, you don't have it, say, sorry, I'll go get it. No, that's not good enough. They'll just say, hey, no, you can't register. Go to your car, get your phone, take care of it, then come back, and then you can do it. Okay? That's what's going to happen. Let's see. Tegan just made a couple comments about take a screenshot of your license to expiration date and keep it in a reminder photo for easy access. That's what I just talked about. So absolutely, definitely. Sure, that's probably a pretty good one. Take a picture of your Turd to Dirt racing plate in case you forget it at home. because we can give you a replacement. However, one thing to remember is that on your race plate that we sell you for Tour de Dirt, we do write your USA Cycling number on the back, and and you need that plate to register because they write both of those numbers down on the start sheet. So, and Don Lasol chimed in and said the same thing. Definitely, again, all about that. Zach good. I guess he forgot his plate. He said, "Thanks for the plate of shame." So he must have given you a template. Darren says iPhone can pull it up in Safari. So if you have an iPhone and you're having trouble, he said pull it up in Safari and it's doable. Corey Denton, zebra socks, knife fights. That goes back to Tulsa Tough, and it's beyond my comprehension on what that is. So. Jason, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, he's saying Corey Denton, not me. Okay, Jason Agelke was asking Corey where he was Sunday, but that was not me. It was Corey Denton. I'm slow there. Okay, enough of that. And another thing, going back to registration plates, we still had a couple of incidents with this. I get that you forget your plate, and that's cool. I mean, that happens. It doesn't happen to me that much, mainly because I've raced so long. I have all that stashed in one place. I have all my critical gear in a bucket. I have Des and I both have what we call the bucket, and it just has our stuff in it. It has all our critical stuff. We don't even think about it. So after a race, I pull my plate, I stick it in the bucket. It's in the bucket. That bucket goes with me everywhere. So key is just uniformity. Put your stuff in the same place, take it all to the races, and you're good to go. On that note, again, these plates that you purchase for $5, they are good all year long. So bring them. You need to have them to register along with your USA Cycling license. When they write your name on the start sheet, when you check in, they write your USA Cycling number down on the start sheet, or they write one day if you're a one day, and they write your plate number down and your name as well. But those are things that you have to have when you walk to the registration lines. So it's just, guys just need to know that, need to practice that. And most of the people who've been doing this are good with that, we all know, but we have so many new people this year that we're just running into a lot of issues at registration with people who just have to send them back to the car and no, got to go get this. No, you got to go get this. You just know that these things are things that you have to have. Matthew Armstrong says, and if you don't have a bucket, keep the plate in your glove box. Hey, it's whatever works, man. It's all about uniformity. You just got to keep it in someplace the same. All right, I want to move into Center Stampede. I'm gonna look see if I haven't missed anything. Jeremy, we're going to remedy that. This is the last two races I showed it, and they told me that I didn't need to see it. So we're going to remedy that. That's probably more my fault than anything. Not communicating exactly why I needed our promoters to do that. So it's not on them. I'll take the blame for that. Chris Cooper says Tulsa Tough ended his road career. No, it didn't. It started your mountain bike career. That's more important. All right. I think we're all good. I don't think I've missed anything. Let's see. Gunner Wright says I use small carabiners to attach my plate. Easy off and easy on. Agreed. One other thing I would like to note, and we've asked this, and our officials have asked this, but I noticed looking through all the pictures as we have had tons of pictures from our last race loaded up on Tour de Dirt page, I have noticed that there were still several plates that I saw that had a lot of the corners and partial parts of the plate underneath their cables. I realize that not everybody's single speed like me, and you guys have a lot more cables to deal with than I do. However, we really ask that if it is, unless it's absolutely impossible, those plates need to be on the outside of your cables. I know a lot of people try to shove them underneath those cables, and yes, that may be more aerodynamic and it may be, you know, easier for you to attach it, but the problem is visibility. You're coming through hot, start finish line, and our officials are having to eyeball that plate as you're blazing by them, and if there are lines and cables going through those numbers, it's just very hard to read those numbers correctly, especially when you guys are going through fast. So we need those to be as unobstructed as possible so that our officials can see those, so they get your number down, because we write numbers down every time you come through on a lap, as well as when you finish, for a variety of reasons, for, you know, double checking errors and things like that. So keep those plates unobstructed, keep them out in the open. I typically just do the 2 to my bars, and then I do 1 at the bottom, but all I do is I just make a big long string. I just kind of like do a lollipop with it. I tie it into the bottom string and just tie it to my plate, and then I just have a long dangling piece left of the tie, and I just wrap that around my most exposed cable down in the center. I don't even really like tie it. I just wrap it around it so that it stays. And that way it's fully outside. There's no cable on the outside, and it's fully visible by the officials. So, and regardless of whether you, I mean, I realize you guys have derailleur cables and I don't, but the cables are all still pretty much in the same place. So you should be able to take care of that. Agreed, Julie. I hope I explained that too, Julie, and several of the girls have been helping us with both registration or plate sales as well as catching riders. Angela Cordes and Megan Crampy have been helping us as well too, and so she chimed in and said plates need to be up and down to be viewed by the race directors, really race officials, not the riders. So a lot of the riders are trying to make them all comfortable and all, but simple fact is the goal is to make them readable by the official. You want the officials to see them because, I mean, they're the ones that are scoring you. Dennis Falasco, use side plates as well. I'm not sure what side plates are, so we don't have additional plates, or we don't have additional numbers, so shouldn't be necessary if the numbers are strapped on appropriate to the front of the bike. All right, we need to move on. I'm running later than I expected and talking longer than I expected. Let's talk about Sooner Stampede. It was this weekend. It was great. We had some weather from our previous weekend. We had a little weather early in the week, and it dialed in perfect. I mean, you couldn't have asked for better dirt. They cut one little section that, I don't know what, 1/8 of a mile, 1/16 of a mile. It didn't amount to much, and because it was out of a peninsula where there's some clay, man, the rest of the trail was perfect. In fact, I'm pretty sure Tex didn't even get his hair dirty, which is pretty important. So that's an inside joke. Some of you get that, some of you won't. I believe our last count was 215 racers lined up on Sunday. So they broke once again, our Sooner Stampede breaks 200. Again, I've mentioned this last time, 200 is our go-to number, and Sooner broke it again. And as they usually do, they have a good event. Awesome course. Good beer, mostly. I got in some of that Bud Light. Nah, I didn't dig some of that, but other stuff, tasty. Was that Roaring Sons? Good stuff. They also have done since the beginning. As soon as Team Warm Up has taken over for this, they have done multiple courses, course for threes, and then 2 variations of lap courses for the Cat 1s and 2s. I've always really been leery of that, and I was when they started this 3 years ago. But as usual, they pull it off, no issues. They have volunteers, they mock the course properly, 0 course issues. And that's amazing, because that's a big task when you have multiple courses, especially in this case 3. So phenomenal job. And once again, they set the bar. You know, that's kind of the way it's worked. They set the bar for the other promoters and other venues, and like to see how it plays out. I mean, see if there's anything else there. Only a couple of things. Let's see. Kai Cordes Thayer model, yes. Darren Moore, Roaring Suns. Adios, Pantalones. I had 1 cup and then it was empty. I couldn't figure out why they were telling me to take my pants off, but I guess that was, goodbye pants was the beer. So yes. Blow Up Pub made its, I guess, second debut. Its actual debut at Tour de Dirt, and they did have a winter solstice ride where it was there, and it's a little windy, so after registration, looks like they pulled it down. But Blow Up Pub's cool, real cool. And the last thing on Sooner Stampede, unless anybody wants to chime in and say anything, is we had a bunch of great fields. We always have big Cat 3 fields. It's awesome. It's great. Junior field was awesome. Our women's field was awesome. Cat 2 fields are pretty big, but our Cat 1 fields are typically fairly small. We had an absolutely unbelievable Cat 1 field this weekend. I mean, I'm really glad I'm lining up in the 40 to 49 age group, even though it's crazy hard and super athletes in it. But our 19 to 39 age group, we lined up across the board with an unbelievable amount of speed and talent and athletes. We had 4 national champions in a variety of disciplines lined up all at the same time in one field. I think there were 50 total Cat 1 racers. And we really only have, 3 categories, the 19 to 39, the 40 to 49, and the 50 plus. We have a few women, but they now race in a unified start with the Cat 2 women for a unified payout. But we had 2 rows, both the 19 to 39 and the 40 to 49 men. So I'm stoked about all these Cat 1 racers, because that's typically our small venue, our small races. So super stoked. I would put that 19 to 39 top 10 on just about any podium in our region, minus Colorado because of the altitude. But any place with decent altitude, that's an unbelievable talent, and just super stoked to have those guys all coming to race in our series. And such a level of talent, and it's awesome. It's awesome for our juniors to look up to. It's awesome for our older riders to say, hey, it would be nice to train and be like that. So anyway, awesome job, Sooner Stampede. You guys rock. Look forward to next year. Brian Pasco, when will results be posted? Asked and answered as soon as we can, probably tomorrow. Jason Agilke, you put the hurt on me Sunday. Well, thank you, because vice versa, brother. I think between you and me and Caldwell, we definitely all felt it. It was a great race. Chad Van Hosen over at Ponca City, you bet we are. We'll talk about you guys when it's time. Darren says, thanks everyone for coming out. We had fun doing it and hope everyone had a jolly time. Links we could go to in order to have an excuse to drink beer in a pub. And how about a big shout out to Big Lenny's? So that's true. Big Lenny's came out and provided some food. So thanks, Darren, and all the team warm up guys and gals did great. Loved it. Had a great time. We'll continue to do it. All right. Next up. Make sure that's it. All right. So I'll finish it up. Next weekend. No rest for the weary. We back to back to back to back, and for many of us, we back to back about 5 races in a row, because while we have a little break from Tour de Dirt after Claremore, our Shoreline Shred, which is coming up this weekend, many of us are going to continue on the following week with Land Run 100, and then we're going to follow it the weekend after that with Whatstall Challenge. And I can't get my brain past that, so there's probably something the weekend after, but I can't think past that. So for me, that's going to be 5 in a row. But anyway, next weekend, Shoreline Shred. Someone asked earlier why I was wearing a Fat Tire hat, and that's correct. I'm wearing a Fat Tire hat because we got Shoreline Shred. Fat Tire is our main promoter for that event, and you know, they've, as many of you know, I mean, I assume many of you know, Fat Tire is mainly based out of Arkansas, and that was our first experience with their shop and some of their riders and some of the guys that rode for them that we've met through the time. But they have since moved into the Tulsa area and Bartlesville, I believe, as well, in Oklahoma. So they have an Oklahoma presence now, and they are the promoters of upcoming Shoreline Shred at Claremore, Oklahoma. This is a new venue, never been here before. Rory Peterson, and I can't give this guy enough props. He's a trail builder deluxe, trail boss. He's the man. I mean, he's made this thing happen. I know he's got lots of help, and he'll deflect any attention that I give him to all the people that help him. But the reality of it is, every place that has an expansion like this and a creation like this has a leader, and Rory is that leader. Whether he wants to stand up and take the credit or not, he's that guy, and he's doing a wonderful job. We realized that we were going to have a course there, around Thanksgiving. No, it was a little bit before that. I think we made that decision a little bit before that. And that's when we went out and actually rode that trail. And I gave him some feedback, and I was like, at this point in time, Rory, this trail's not ready in order to house a race venue with a race loop. And I said, this is what needs to happen. This is what's going to need to take place. This is what we need. And boom, boom, boom. 3, 4, 5 work days in a row, gets Fat Tire guys involved. Keith Arning and the crew came down, and damn if they don't have a 9.5 mile race loop that's outstanding. And they already had a basic track, and they just needed to make it a proper race loop. They knocked that out in like 2.5 months. Amazing work, amazing stuff. I've still not been on some of the new stuff, so I'm super stoked about getting out there Saturday, pre-riding that, and seeing what kind of gearing I'm going to need. But looking forward to it. So, we've already been kind of talking on Facebook a little bit. So Rory made a post a minute ago, and he said, 3 kegs of dead armadillo, Billy Sims barbecue, 9.5 miles of sweet trail. So, I mean, enough said. Come on, you pretty much had me at 3 kegs of armadillo, but, I'll come race too. So, I got to save some beers for us so when we're done. We race with the Cat 1s, and we're like the last ones done. So save us a few beers. All right, I'm going to see if there's any questions, and I'm pretty much done. Let's see. Jimmy Young, coming up North Texas. So Jimmy Young's talking about some of this North Texas stuff. We got some guys up in North Texas that do some racing, so not headed up that way. Heath Arney makes comments, says, making a good first showing for the city of Claremore. No glass bottles, please. So that is very important. I mean, respect the parks, respect the venues. And this is their first event. This is a new course. This is their first event. They're going to have people from the city and the city council out on site They're going to be checking this place out, seeing what's happening, and it's good that as riders and racers and citizens, we make a good impression with this community to further this race and further this trail. So come on, you guys know what to do. Gunner right, Fatty's real. Let's talk to Heath Arney. He's right there with you, buddy. He likes his fat bike. Maybe one of these days. Cleo Berninger says, Shoreline Shred, they have put in so much effort in the great quality trail building they have. They've done so much work, so much planning. Gone to trail building schools to make sure that they build the trail properly. And we have they have an upper venue, so they have a normal parking lot when you go to Claremore. And I think if you look online, they posted some addresses on where it's going to be. It's not hard to find, but I'm not going to bother with that here. You guys can find it out there. But there is an upper campground area they have knocked out for the weekend, and that's where we're going to stage everything. It's a huge area. I would relate the area. It's a big wide area similar to like Carl Blackwell has for our venue. So there's lots of places to park and hang out and camp and tent. I've asked Rory on another post. I haven't been able to go out and check it. Someone was asking about camping, so I'm hoping that he chimes in. If you guys are interested in camping, check for those and see what he says. If not, I can point you to those feeds if you need. So that's all I've got. We're almost an hour in and probably talked too long. So thanks for joining me. And I'll have this posted up to my YouTube channel here in probably the next 15, 20 minutes. And be sure and go out and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And enjoyed it. If you guys have any further questions or things down the road, just hit me up and we'll make sure we add some other topics. So have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you at Shoreline Shred. Good night.